Yep. And now, Mike's thoughts. What is up? What is up? What is up, Man Hour Nation? Each and every year, we get disputes in the NFL. Each and every year, we get a little bit of this, we get a little bit of that. And this year, Brandon Ayuk is the topic of a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Brandon Ayuk went on the old tickety-talkie, and he was on with his boy FaceTiming, Jaden Daniels, and basically said that, you know what, the San Francisco 49ers don't want me back. He was being vague and just saying they, but he was definitely implying that the San Francisco 49ers do not want him back. So when we looked at this, I'm like, you know what, Brandon Ayuk, I understand you want your money. I understand that Justin Jefferson just got paid. I understand Dak Prescott just got paid. I understand Deebo Samuel is about to get paid. But are you really worth that? Are you really worth that kind of money, that kind of trouble? Brandon Ayuk is entering his final year of his rookie contract and is seeking a very lucrative extension, likely inspired by the wrecking-becking deal by top receiver Justin Jefferson, like we already said. He has already skipped offseason workout in the mandatory minicamp, incurring significant fines to pressure the 49ers. But here's the deal. Brandon Ayuk has his value. He has $200 million, just to say, throw a number out there, on his mind. He has that money on his mind. He thinks, I'm going to get paid this much money. But the 49ers are like, nah, you're not worth that much. But then I got digging deeper into stats. Got to digging deeper. Brandon Ayuk, 1,300 yards last season, which led the San Francisco 49ers with 7 touchdowns, which led the wide receivers for the San Francisco 49ers. 1,300 yards was a top 10 receiver in the NFL. So guys, let me ask you this question right here, right now. Is Brandon Ayuk worth the dollar bills? Yo. I'm going to tell you right out, no, he's not. The San Francisco 49ers are a very plug-and-play system. The San Francisco 49ers feel like they can pretty much get anybody into that system. They feel they can go to the draft and get a receiver. They can go to the free agent and get a receiver. Unfortunately, Brandon Ayuk is going to get paid, just not by the San Francisco 49ers. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? Let's go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckeicher here with the Man Hour. It has been a long time coming since we have been on the air. We took a little vacation to really refuel the old system. And guys, it is glad to be back. I am glad to be back right here with you guys here at 2:30 East Coast time, here at Facebook.com, of course, YouTube.com, and at manhourradio.com. If you guys are not aware, we try to do a members-only live stream pre-show. I tried to do it, and my kids are like, I want to play on the water slide. I want to do a little bit of this. I want to do a little bit of that. So sometimes when I get like in my own head, I get flustered and I start pushing buttons and pushing the wrong buttons, and I'm like, oh no, what did I do? And sure as shit, I messed up the members only stream. So tomorrow, guys, we'll be back on members only stream, 2 p.m. East Coast time. If you are a member over at Facebook.com or, of course, YouTube.com, you will get access to this membership stream. We'll be talking about the NFL ticket lawsuit. What is going on with that? Let's dive into that tomorrow, 2 p.m. East Coast time if you are a member. If you'd like to become a member, click on that subscribe button below. As little as 99 cents a month or $4.99 a month, you get some stuff. You get some t-shirts, you get some hoodies, you get members only streams, you get all the NFL games next season. It is going to be a great show. But we got to welcome some people in the chat. We got Nana in the chat. She says, yeah, I finally get to see a show. Nana, we're back 2:30 East Coast time here on the old PM side of things. And, of course, she's got to say Bach. Got my man John Peoples in the chat. What is up, John? What is up? What is up? What is up? Hope you have a grand old day. And then, of course, we got the Pigskin Pundit CEO himself, Mr. Jim Powell. What is up, Jim? What is up? What is up? What is up? And totally overpriced tickets. The NFL's ticket is definitely overpriced. We'll definitely talk about that a lot more tomorrow on the members only stream. But if you guys would be most inclined, hit that like button, hit the share button as well. We are here at the new time, 2:30 East Coast time, every Monday through Friday for the foreseeable future. Bada bing, bada boom. But guys, we got to talk a little bit about the Pittsburgh Steelers today. And you know what? I forgot to download my image. I forgot to download my my game picks. So let me go ahead and download them for you guys. But we are going to be talking a lot about the Pittsburgh Steelers today. We got an interview with my man Steelberg from the old Tickety Talkie. We're going to talk to him. We got a we got a nice interview lined up with him in sight here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get that interview played with Steelberg here real quick. Let me pull it up. Like I said, I got a little flustered before show because the kids, they like to hang out with dad. But let me get this playing. 1 second, guys. 1 second. All right, guys, welcome back to Man Hour NFL Talk. My name is Michael Buckeister once again, and I am joined with a special guest here. This man is the biggest Pittsburgh Steelers fan out there. This man rocks the TikTok social world. The one and only, a.k.a. Steelberg, a.k.a. Matt, a.k.a. the Pittsburgh Steelers biggest fan out there. What's up, Steelberg? What's up, Matt? How you doing today, buddy?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
We are doing fantastic, as always, over here at manhourradio.com. And, of course, guys, right here on Big X Sports Radio 96.1. Steelberg, tell the people who you are and what you're all about.
I'm a big-time Steelers fan. I started watching them when I was super young. I've always enjoyed going to Steelers games. My first game was whenever I was 4 years old, and ever since I've been in love with football. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Just the environment, just going there, having a good time, enjoying myself, interacting with fans. Super great experience. I started traveling not too long ago, so I highly recommend going to different stadiums. As you can see on my TikTok, I go to away games and I bring different content that you're not going to see every day. With going to away games, live streaming tailgates, bringing you guys an experience on TikTok that not many people are doing. So I just like building a community with different sports fans talking sports. That's what I do, especially the NFL and my Steelers, of course.
Yeah, so I've been watching Matt here for a few days now, maybe a few weeks or so, and I enjoy everything that you do. I enjoy your interaction with your fans, enjoy your interaction with just the Pittsburgh Steelers community as a whole. And this offseason, you guys have basically pissed off the NFC or the AFC North. Let's just be honest. You guys picked up a great linebacker in Patrick Queen. You've added more pieces to the offense and just the team in general. And you signed your coach to a 3-year extension. So let's start on the offensive side of the ball here with the Pittsburgh Steelers with your two big additions of Russ, the Bus, Wilson, and of course, Justin Fields. First things first, who do you think is going to start in 2024 come week 1?
I personally see Russell Wilson starting at the beginning of the season, and I think it goes as a week basis. I could see Justin Fields coming in to relief at any point. If Russell Wilson struggles, like he's had some struggling experiences in the last 2 years with Denver at times, Justin Fields coming in by week 5 and taking it over. But they've been saying that they're not going to pick up his option. So I think it's a prove it season for them, and I would like to see both of them hit the field at some point in the season to see what their worth is.
So I watch many other Pittsburgh Steelers insiders and their Pittsburgh Steelers YouTube channel and like all this stuff, and everything that the fans are saying, everything that the teammates are saying, everything that the coaches are saying is they love Russ. They love the energy that they brings. They love the upward step, always positive type of Russ here. So what happens in your eyes if Russ does not start week 1? What happens if somewhere Russell Wilson struggles in, let's say, week 2 of preseason and he just looks horrible and Justin Fields looks absolutely amazing? We know, we've heard it. Russ is the starter. Russ is the starter. Russ is the starter. But at what point does Russell Wilson struggle and you see Justin Fields potentially coming in?
Like I said, I'd say you got to give him at least 4 weeks. It's a whole new coordinator in Arthur Smith. You got some new pieces. I think the running game is going to be super efficient, so that's going to take pressure off either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. So I think having Arthur Smith is going to be very important for us because look at what he did in Tennessee with Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. And I feel like Russell Wilson and Justin Fields is better than Ryan Tannehill. Me personally, that's just my opinion. But I could see either one of them excelling. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I could also see them maybe like every 4 weeks just cycling them out and seeing who they want that franchise quarterback to be, because they're only there for a year.
Okay, so that is one thing that I do not agree with one bit is if you have 2 starting quarterbacks, you have 0 starting quarterbacks. So the cycling on them out every 4 weeks is probably not a very good experience for Pittsburgh Steelers fans, just because you guys have been kind of in a quarterback carousel since Big Ben has left. So with that being said, Arthur Smith is the new offensive coordinator. This year, in the first 2 draft picks of the season, you guys did draft off offensive line. Najee Harris, final year of his deal. Russ on the final year of his deal, right? Justin Fields on the final year of his deal as well. What do you expect to see from an Arthur Smith offense led by Russ, Najee Harris, and a potential tight end, since Arthur Smith loves tight ends so much?
I feel like they're going to run the ball a lot this year. I think they're going to go back to the ground and pound game with when they had Jerome Bettis, Willie Parker, just to name a few. I could see them running the ball more, maybe double the amount of times that they pass the ball, and let their defense do what they've been doing for years, because we spend the most money in the league on defense. So I could see us running the ball, getting back to our gritty ways of pounding the ball on first and second down, making it manageable, third and short. That's something we've been lacking the last couple of years to say. So I can definitely see Arthur Smith bringing a different element than what Matt Canada, Todd Haley, and other offensive coordinators we've had in the past.
So I'm glad you brought up the defensive side of the ball here, because you guys did bring in a rival linebacker in Patrick Queen this offseason to add a already stout defense. Last year, I feel the Pittsburgh Steelers were easily a top 10 defense. The defense definitely carried them all season long. Now you're looking like potentially one of the best defenses, not only in the AFC North, but the NFL in general. What do you expect to see from Patrick Queen and TJ Watt and Fitzpatrick all season long? Do you expect them to take a step up and be the best defense in the NFL, or are they going to be just the top 10?
I could see them being a top 5 defense, but the biggest thing is, and in the NFL in general, is they got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy, league, especially with guys like that. You have a lot of good players on paper, but they got to stay healthy. They got to produce. And we've seen them produce. They've made Pro Bowls, and they've showed time and time again that they can carry this team to wins. Prime example, last year when we were cycling through 3 different quarterbacks, our defense kept us in most of the games, not every single game, like the 49ers game, the Texans and the Colts game. I don't even want to talk about that because it happens. But those other games, like the rival games, the games that, everyone in the AFC North is talking about, like, oh, I don't know about the Steelers this year. You're going to beat the Browns, the Bengals, or the Ravens. We always find a way to compete in those games. And those are the games that it's going to come down to this year. And I have a feeling that if we can play the way we did defensively last year against those teams, we have a really good shot at taking that division, if not being a second seed in that division. So I like our acquisitions this year, both on the offense and the defensive side of the ball. However, we do need a wide receiver. I feel like we do need another wide receiver option, just because we have a lot of third string wide receivers, slot guys, in my opinion. But I'm not saying Roman Wilson's not going to step up, but he's a rookie. You know what I mean? We got a whole new offensive coordinator in Arthur Smith. It's going to be interesting to see how they develop and gel. So the first couple weeks of the season, it's going to be a little rough. It's not going to be, we're going to be in sync right away. But I feel like this team's going to figure it out. And then down the stretch, when those games get tougher, I feel like we're going to see our true identity come out and see how we perform.
And I really kind of feel like you're being kind of like, yeah, we're going to be good. Yeah, we're going to be good. But as soon as the Pittsburgh Steelers picked up a quarterback like Russ, I was like, this is a Super Bowl caliber team. They have a pretty damn good offense, right? They drafted offensive line, the first 2 picks. They boasted up that offensive line. Najee Harris is going to be a beast. He is on a contract year. Give that man the ball over and over and over and over, because he wants it, because he wants to get that paycheck, right? The defense is going to be a top 5, if not the best defense in the NFL. So stop being so modest here, Matt, and let the people know that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go to the Super Bowl in 2024. Let them know that they're going to win the North, and let them know come week 1, Arthur Smith is going to get a win against the old team in the Atlanta Falcons. So I know on your TikTok, you have said to people, this is how you think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go this season. But let the man-hour audience know, Steelberg on the old TikTok, link is in the description. How do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be in 2024?
I think we're going to. I think a lot of people are sleeping on us. I do have a video on my page. I think it's ludicrous that they have us winning 7.5 games on Vegas. I really do. I think that's absurd with the amount of pieces that we brought in. Like, come on, they've slept on us since Big Ben retired. So our defense is only as long as we stay healthy, we're going to make noise in that playoffs. And who knows, we might be in a Super Bowl and we're winning that. I do need another ring to go in this little display I got here. You know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah. Here. I do see 6, and that has been 6 since like 2006, if I'm not mistaken. It has been quite a while since you guys have had one.
2009.
2009. My mistake. 2009. But when I look at this schedule, the back half of the schedule, that sucks. Because you have Baltimore, Cleveland, Bengals, Cleveland, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals to end the season. But the first 8-9 weeks of the season are a very, very favorable part of your schedule. You open up on the road against the Falcons, probably going to be a pretty bad team. I don't care if they added Kirk Cousins. I don't care if they added Tom Brady. It's still the Falcons. They know how to blow leads, and they just suck at the end of the day. The Denver Broncos, 100% rebuilding mode. The Chargers at home opening. Who knows what the Chargers are going to be, but they got to travel from the West Coast to the East Coast. It is a 1 o'clock game, so in their minds, like 10 o'clock in the morning. And then you play the Colts, Cowboys, Raiders, and Jets and Giants going into the week 9 bye week. I anticipate 100% that you guys are going into that bye week with maybe tops 2 losses here. Do you concur with that, or what do you think?
I'd say we get 6-2 before the bye week. There's going to be a game or two that, we're going to be right there with the team and we'll find a way to lose. But I could see us being 6-2. We got to take care of business against the teams that we've struggled with in the past that have no reason in beating us. And I feel like maybe with the new atmosphere change with Russell Wilson and all these acquisitions that we brought in, I feel like the players are going to be more motivated and we'll get the job done against the teams that we should beat.
Yeah, and especially the first 2 weeks going up against former teams, as in Arthur Smith's former team with the Falcons, and of course Russ teams against the Denver Broncos as well. In the first 8 weeks, I only see potentially 2 playoff teams, and that is the Colts and the Cowboys, and you do play those guys in back-to-back weeks. Do you see them going to Indianapolis and beating the Colts, and then welcome the Cowboys at home to beat the Cowboys here? If you guys win those 2 games, how do you see the season? Do you see that at a 12-5 or 13-4? Like, how do you see it?
Just based on the schedule, I could see an 11-6 team. Just because like those games aren't going to be easy by any means. And one game that you didn't mention that I'm a little worried about is the New York Jets. We haven't been playing against the New York Jets that well recently in recent matchups. So I have that one underlined, especially with their defense. Their defense is pretty good with Sauce Gardner, especially. And then on the offensive side, if Aaron Rodgers comes back and performs the way he did in Green Bay, that's not going to be a gimme game at all by any means. So I got us going 11-6, at worst 10-7.
11-6, 10-7, not terrible. Obviously playoff worthy. I could see you guys dropping about 4 or 5, 6 games in a row there toward the end of the season, kind of a epic collapse of the Philadelphia Eagles of last season. Hopefully that doesn't happen because I like you, I respect you, and I don't want that. I kind of want that pain for you because I understand the pain of losing 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row. With that being said, give me your prediction. What are the Steelers going to be this season, and are they going to win the AFC North?
They're going to win the AFC North if they go undefeated in the AFC North. They're going to go. I'm confident because last year, look, we had 3 different quarterbacks. I know the Ravens fans are going to say, hey, you played against our third string the last game of the season. I was at that game. So they're going to say that, this and that, and the third. But we own the Ravens. We own the Browns for years. And we own the Bengals most matchups. And Joe Burrow, his health isn't 100% guaranteed with the injury he's had. So I like our chances. Our defense is going to keep us in those games. If we sweep everyone in the AFC North, we're winning that division.
I do concur with that statement. Obviously, the AFC is very, very loaded this season, and I could easily see all 4 teams making the playoffs. But, Matt, thank you for joining us, guys, here today here at Man Hour NFL Talk. Be sure to jump over to TikTok. The link is in the description to check out Matt. Follow him, like his content, and of course, share this with a couple of friends because he does great work over there. Matt, any closing thoughts before we head out?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity. I'm going to, take a couple clips from this and give you a shout out over there as well so you can build up your page as well. I'm all about helping people out. You're looking out for me. So it's just a community. We love doing what we do, talking about sports. And I feel like that's what it's about, So I highly recommend, just checking me out. Make sure you check his page out. and I'd look forward to doing more work with you down the road.
Yeah, 100%, Matt. Thank you for joining us here, guys. But right after the break, guys, we are going to talk the one and only Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm going to give you my prediction for the 24 NFL season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right after the break, we'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, so that was a little interview that I did with my man Steelberg over there on TikTok. If you guys are on TikTok, have the app downloaded, check him out, Steelberg. He puts out great content. He's live damn near every day all over there talking a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers. So if you guys like the Pittsburgh Steelers, go over there and check him out. But he was afraid to really put stuff on the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was really afraid to step up and speak about how great the Pittsburgh Steelers can be in 2024. He was scared to put a record out there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And guess what, guys? Buck Nasty is not scared of nothing. Buck Nasty is not scared of a damn thing. And you know what? I am going to put it out there. I'm getting ready to put it out there right here, right now. And this is what I have the Pittsburgh Steelers going in the 2024 NFL season. I have them going 10-7. I have them opening up week 1 versus the Falcons. That's a dub. Have them week 2 versus the Denver Broncos. That's a dub. Week 3, Chargers, that's a dub. Starting off the season 3-0. Russell Wilson, Najee Harris, 1-2 punch is looking nice. Old George Pickens is doing his thing, right? And then Indianapolis Colts. That's a loss. Then they lose to the Dallas Cowboys. That's a loss. This front half of their schedule, guys, week 4, 5, and 6 are probably their toughest games in this first 9 weeks of the season. I do have them losing back-to-back weeks to the Colts and to the Cowboys. And then they rattle off 3 wins in a row before going into the bye week. They beat the crappy Las Vegas Raiders. That's right. I said crappy. They beat the crappy, that's right, I said crappy, New York Jets. And then they beat a decent New York Giants team going into a bye week. Now, first half of the season, nice and easy. Pretty gravy, right? Pretty gravy, baby. Not too tough games. Nice little back and forth. You know, we got some road games. We got some home games. We got a little bit of this. We got a little bit of that. But then the back half of the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule, guys, I don't know what they did, but they got some karma. They got some bad juju. After the bye week, they play the Commanders. I think that is a dub. Then they play the Baltimore Ravens. For whatever reason, every year it seems like the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers split. So I have them beating the Baltimore Ravens this particular game. Then back-to-back losses to the Browns and to the Bengals. Then they come back and play the Browns again, basically back-to-back weeks, 2 out of 3 weeks. I think that is stupid, but whatever it is what it is. They beat the Browns, they beat the Eagles, and lose to the Ravens, lose to the Chiefs, and they end out the season beating the Bengals, going 10-7. 10-7. That is right where I had them at last year. I was pretty close. I think they finished 9-8 last season. I had them actually going 9-8, losing that Week 18 game versus the Cincinnati Bengals. But I don't think the Bengals are going to be as good as everybody thinks they are. I don't think the Bengals are going to be up to par as people think they are. Oh, Joe Burrow's back. Joe Burrow's healthy. Mr. Piano Man himself is scared to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go 10-7 this season and battle for the AFC North Division crown. I do believe they are a playoff team. When we break down each and every team moving forward, we will definitely start to understand that. We will start to see how they stack up. The AFC North is so powerful, so stacked. So we are granted to see how they're going to jump in there. But we do got some people jumping into the chat here. We can see my man Mark Lewis. Me and him were going back and forth for a little bit there. And Mark Lewis says, well, they better hope they don't got to play KC in the playoffs. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers played the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, didn't the Steelers beat the Chiefs? I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. I don't know. Jim Powell's in the chat. What's up, Jimmy? He says 5-3. Raiders have had sequel cities number the recent years. Very, very true. So had the Jets and so had the Giants, right? The Steelers seem to play down to the competition and then play up to the competition, right? They don't allow teams to play up to them or down to them. They always step up or step down to their competition. Mark says they beat the Cowgirls. Excuse me, Cowgirls. Got to put some respect on their name. The Cowboys, Colts, and something if their QB stops running after his first look. So I think you're referring to Russell Wilson's ability to scramble last season. Yes, the Denver Broncos did have one of the top offensive lines in 2023, but Russell Wilson was not comfortable in that offense. For whatever reason, I don't think he was comfortable. James Frank's in the chat. Good morning or good afternoon, James. Glad you're joining us. Long time no see. He says Browns sweep Pittsburgh this year. What do I have them? I have them splitting, right? Yep, I have them splitting. See, this is what sucks about the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule and the Browns schedule, really, in general, is they basically play back-to-back weeks. Yes, they have a game in the middle there with the Bengals for the Steelers, and I don't know who the Browns play in the middle of their game yet. We're doing those later this week. But when you play a team basically back-to-back weeks, twice out of 3 weeks, it is hard to sweep an opponent at that particular time. It's very, 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 very hard. James also says, look forward to another year of this rivalry. Are the Browns, obviously it's a division game. It's going to be a rivalry game. But when I think of rivalry, I don't think Browns Steelers. I think Ravens Steelers. I could be wrong. Giants decent, Jets crappy, says James. Listen, I think the Jets are highly, highly overrated. What, they've been 7-10 the last 3 years or whatever it's been. What have they done to get better this offseason? Yes, Aaron Rodgers is back. But is he Aaron Rodgers of MVP? Is he Aaron Rodgers of NFC Championship? We don't know. We legit don't know. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be the man, the myth, the legend? We don't know. I think Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Very, very good quarterback. Right now, if I were to make my rankings, hint, hint, maybe I already have, he is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. But we don't know if he's going to come back healthy. We don't know if the line's going to hold up. We don't know if he has any... Where's he at right now, right? Where's he at? Browns and Ravens battling for the AFC North top spot. James, let's talk about the NFC or the AFC North right now. Obviously, the Ravens are always good. Lamar Jackson's going to will them at least 10, if not 11 wins. Does it every year, year in and year out. The Browns last year did go 11 wins last season, if I'm not mistaken, right? Got into the wild card with a fifth-string quarterback, Joe Flacco. But I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say this. I think the Cleveland Browns are worse off with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. Deshaun Watson was a phenomenal quarterback in Houston. Top 5, top 3 quarterback in Houston. Led them to the playoffs. Battled the Kansas City Chiefs. Signed a huge deal to come to Cleveland. After the massage stuff and whatever, right? That's water under the bridge at this point. But the simple fact of the matter is, when Deshaun Watson is playing for the Cleveland Browns almost look one-dimensional. They almost look like they want to pass the ball all over the field for whatever reason. They forget that they had Nick Chubb in there. They forget that they had Kareem Hunt in there when Deshaun Watson in there. They just wanted to throw the ball. Once DTR came in, once Deshaun Watson was out for the season, Nick Chubb also went out for the season, right? But the Cleveland Browns like, hey, we got a pretty good running back. We got a pretty good running back core. That I do not see the Browns repeating the success that they had last season. With or without Deshaun Watson, I don't see them repeating the success. Now, Ravens obviously will be battling for the top spot. I will give you that. I'll give you that 100%. Nana says, I'm glad you're here to praise my Colts. We'll be talking about the Colts later next week. we have an interview set up with a young lady that covers the Colts. And I think Anthony Richardson is going to have a great season, great year. Go, buddy. But with that being said, guys, it is time to move on from the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've talked a lot about Pittsburgh Steelers. We've talked a lot about the AFC North. But it is time to give my second favorite. Actually, this is definitely my favorite segment ever. This is my favorite segment because I like Way or No Way. And that's exactly what we are going to do. We're going to give you a little bit of way or a little bit of what no way. If you guys are new here, this is how Way or No Way works. We put out a statement and we weigh, we agree. No way, we disagree. Very, very simple, very, very cut and dry, very, very opinionated facts here, right? So if you have some opinionated facts, be sure to play in the comments below. We do love interaction here. This is a live interactive show, as you guys do know. I see every comment and I am bring them up as we see them. So with that being said, the first Way or No Way of the day, let's talk about Christmas Day. Let's talk a little bit about Christmas Day. As you guys know, now the NFL schedule is out. We do have 2 NFL games on the slot for Christmas Day. We had the Steelers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, and then we had the Houston Texans taking on the old Baltimore Ravens. Historically, guys, this has been the NBA's day. Christmas Day has been NBA. This is kind of like their kickoff to their season. They're like, yeah, we've been playing since October, since September, whatever. But Christmas Day, you know what? NBA's here. Let's kick it off. And we want you guys all to see this, right? When we look at Christmas Day, we got to ask this question. Way or no way, will the NFL now belong, or will Christmas Day now belong to the NFL? Like I said, historically, NBA has been Christmas Day. But now, Christmas Day, the NFL says, you know what? Hold my beer. We are going to do something. When we look at the NBA, okay, go. So with that being said, as the kids like to come over here and talk in the middle of this here, the NBA historically has had 5 to 6 games on Christmas Day. Last year, they had just over 4.2 million people tune in to their games. However, they had 5 games on NFL or on Christmas Day. 5 games. 5 games on Christmas Day. So 42 million divided by 5, like 6, 7 million people per thing, right? 8 million, I guess. NFL last year had a Christmas Day game. It was the Packers versus the Browns. Not a shabby game. Pretty intriguing game. They had 29 million people tune into this game. 29 million. So with that being said, way or no way can the NFL overtake Christmas Day from the NBA? The answer to that question is yes. It is a way. There's no question about it that if the NFL puts their mind to it, we don't care if it's on Wednesday, we don't care if it's on Thursday, we don't care if it's on Tuesday, we're going to play on Christmas Day, and they put a team like the Chiefs and the Steelers on there, Texans versus Ravens, it's going to pull even more viewership. This 29 million people that they had last season with the Packers versus Browns, hold my beer, here comes 47 million. Here comes 50 million. NBA might be barely breaking 2 million at this point come Christmas Day. Because let's just be honest, who wants to watch NBA? I know my man Wayne G is a basketball guy. He bleeds him some basketball, and he's fed up with the NBA. NBA is losing so much interest so quickly, it's kind of like, whoa. I think James said it best right here. NFL is greater than the NBA. Not wrong. The NFL, the NBA is 3 points and dunks. Like that. That's what it is. I would have taken those crappy Thursday night games instead of any NBA games. Listen, even the crappiest Thursday night game, let's flash back at when Thursday night first really started to become a thing, right? We had the color rush game. It was the Buffalo Bills taking on the New York Jets. All green, all red. I thought something was wrong with my TV as so many like lines going. It was terrible TV. I would take that over than any NBA game. Even the NBA's finals. Game 7, I don't care. Give me NFL any day of the week. James, I concur with that. I concur with that 100%. Next up on the way or no way docket, Trevor Lawrence, guys. Trevor Lawrence just signed a massive contract extension. 5 years, $275 million deal. $142 million of it, which is fully guaranteed, makes him tied for the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. So when we look at this, we got to ask the question, way or no way, did the Jacksonville Jaguars overpay Trevor Lawrence? Right now, guys, the NFL is in a landscape where the next quarterback up for a contract is going to be the highest paid quarterback, right? Whether it be Patrick Mahomes, whether it be Jared Goff, whether it be Dak Prescott, whether it be Trevor Lawrence. The next guy up is going to be the highest paid quarterback. Next up is going to be Dak Prescott. A little after that is going to be, a Brock Purdy. A little after that is going to be somebody else. But we got to ask the question, way or no way did the Jacksonville Jaguars overpay for Trevor Lawrence? I have to say way. I have to say way. Because when we look at Trevor Lawrence's stats just last season, 4,000 yards passing, 4,016 yards passing, 21 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. In total yardage, that was about 10th in the NFL. Behind Purdy, behind Goff, behind Mahomes, behind Dak, behind those big name quarterbacks, right? But when the season was on the line, legit, all they had to do was win 2 of their last 6 games. They lost 5 of their last 6. All they had to do was win 2 of those games to get into the playoffs, and they couldn't do that. They could not do that. They lost 4 games in a row, 5 of their last 6, and they finished the season 9-8, missing the playoffs. When we look at their schedule from last season, it was a very favorable schedule. Some of the hardest games that they had were either in London or at home. When people thought that the Jags were the real deal, they had back-to-back wins versus the Falcons and the Buffalo Bills. Like, oh, okay, let's go. Those were both over the pond. Yes, I can give you one of those wins, the Atlanta Falcons, because you both had kind of the same schedule, right? But when the Jaguars play back-to-back games in London, like, how is that fair for the Buffalo Bills? But I digress. Guys, Trevor Lawrence might be the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. Yes, he did have a 28-point comeback in 2022 to beat the LA Chargers in the playoffs. Yes, he did play well versus Kansas City Chiefs in the 2022 playoffs. I think he threw for 314 yards, I believe it was. Was it 28-20 was that score? But besides that one playoff win, what has Trevor Lawrence done for you? Has he ever been in MVP conversations? Has he ever led the league in passing? Has he ever led the league in touchdowns? Has he ever led the Jaguars to a 13-win season? Guys, this is a way. Trevor Lawrence might be the most overpaid, overrated quarterback in all of NFL. Let's flash back to his draft, 3-4 years ago, right? Wayne G and Sully sat on their show. If you could build a quarterback in the lab, this is exactly who you would build. What has he done for you? I bet you if the Jaguars could redraft right now, they would not be taking Trevor Lawrence number 1 overall. I'm just saying. James Frank says highest paid and all play for cat teams. So Bryce Young next. Seen that in some video today. If Bryce Young becomes the next highest paid quarterback, what are the Carolina Panthers doing? John's in the chat. What's up, John? He says Steelers went 5-1 in the hardest division in football last season, and they got better this year. Look for a similar performance this year and a playoff run. Super Bowl, I don't know about that, but they'll win the division and get a playoff win. Let's talk a little bit more about the Steelers. Let's talk a little bit more about this comment here. The Steelers always play their division opponents very, very well. If I pop my game picks back up there, boom, that right there, I have them going 1, 2, 3. I had them going 500 in the division, 3-3, 3-3. But when they play the Ravens this first time, they're coming off a mini bye, which is they play the Commanders on Thursday and they got 3 days extra rest. When they play the Steelers, when the Bengals play the Steelers the first time, Bengals are coming off a bye and Steelers are coming off another mini bye. So you got Thursday game, nice long break, bada bing, bada boom. And then they play Kansas City on a Wednesday, which doesn't really matter. It matters for the Ravens because they got a short work week and then a long week for the Bengals. So I could see them beating the Bengals on this mini bye week here. I could see them beating the Browns on a Thursday night game. I could see it. I could see 5-1 again this season. I could see it, John. I could. But right now I'm going to stick to my 3-3. I do think they make a play for the AFC North title. We'll be breaking down the other 3 teams later this week and next week because we're off Friday, going to Kansas. But I do see the Steelers making the playoffs and probably time to put up or shut up now for Mike Tomlin in the playoffs. Speaking of the AFC North, Mr. T. Higgins signed his franchise tag and is expected to report to training camp moving forward for the Cincinnati Bengals. With him officially signing his tag, the Bengals team is pretty much put together, right? But with that being said, the Bengals are kind of in a weird predicament. The Bengals are in an opportunity where, they kind of must win now. So let's ask the question, way or no way? Is it a make or break year for the Cincinnati Bengals? We have seen the Cincinnati Bengals be at the highest of highs and lowest of lows. Last year was kind of a lowest of low. Yes, Jake Browning did come in and kind of right the ship there for the end of the year. But when Joe Burrow is in, then the Cincinnati Bengals are a pretty good team. We've seen it. They went to the Super Bowl with Joe Burrow at the helm. Since then, they've been kind of meh, right? But when you think of make or break year, we have to do it right now. We have to go to Super Bowl now. We have to win it now. You have to look at the contracts moving forward. In the upcoming years, there's going to be some players that want to get paid. T. Higgins being one of them. Tyler Boyd wanted to be one of them. They kind of shipped him out of town to Tennessee. Guess what? Sam Hubbard's up for contract. Alex Kappa up for contract. Jamar Chase up for contract. Trey Higgins, Geno Snow, Jack Smoth, Drew Sample, all up for contracts at the end of the 2025 season. So with that being said, where no is it a make or break year for the Cincinnati Bengals? Yes, it hit us away. It is definitely a make or break season. It is time to put up or shut up now for Zach Taylor, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and those boys. If you want to be claimed to be Joe Burrow, Mr. Joe Cool, right? Do something. Jamar Chase is a dog. He is going to get his bread. T. Higgins is a really good number 2 receiver. Somebody's going to overpay for him and make him a number 1. He's probably going to flutter around like Calvin Ridley did. But this is definitely a must break. This is a must win season for the Cincinnati Bengals. It's as simple as that. It is time to put up or shut up if you're Cincinnati Bengals. If you do not put up right now, it's probably time to blow the system up. Yes, I do understand that they just won the Super Bowl, 3 years ago, right? I understand that. But Joe Burrow has not been healthy. Has Joe Burrow played a full 17-game season yet? We always talk about durability. We always dog Lamar Jackson about how he plays and getting hurt. We always dog about Dak getting hurt, right? Any 49ers quarterback. But Joe Burrow is most fragile of them all. Like, legit, he is the most fragile of them all. When you look at Joe Burrow, look at his stats, but look how many games he has played in a season. His rookie season, torn ACL, 8 games in, right? The following year, only played 14. Even the Super Bowl year, I think he only played 15 games. This is a make or break. And I think James nailed it right there. James says this is most definitely a make or break you. John says, local PGH radio reporting Steelers biting the money bullet and scooping up a big name receiver soon. Rumor? We'll see. Don't be surprised if it happens, though, and they need to push it down the field for Big Russ. There is no next year for the Steelers. So when we look at the Steelers, they got some big name receivers. If you, first of all, have this is the first time in a very, very long time that the Steelers have made plays in the offseason. Normally, they try to build within, right, through the draft. This offseason, they did pick up Russell and Justin Fields, obviously, right? They picked up Patrick Queen. They added some more depth to the offensive line as well. But to say they need a big name receiver, let's not forget that they have George Pickens. George Pickens could easily probably get 1,600 yards this season. George Pickens averaged 18 yards a catch last season with Mitchell Trubisky throwing him the ball, with Mason Rudolph passing him the ball, with whatever his name is. Forget his name right now. Kenny Pickett. He averaged 18 yards a catch last season. Now, Russ does have a big arm. Justin Fields also has a pretty big arm, right? I think George Pickens will be your big deep threat there. Also, Roman Wilson in the draft picked him up, right? Still got Van Jefferson. Let's not forget they also picked up Scotty Miller. Do you guys not remember Scotty Miller? The old white boy from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that Tom Brady made famous? He's older. I mean, I think he was drafted 2019. So about 5-6 years into like in the league. Short, fast guy. I think the wide receivers in Pittsburgh are just fine. I don't think you need to worry about getting a big name receiver. What I think you need to worry about is giving Najee Harris the ball over and over and over again. The more you give Najee Harris the ball, the better they will be. John also says Joe Burrow will win a Super Bowl if and only if he gets out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Ohio teams and Lombardi just aren't a thing. Oof. So John says, guys, that Joe Burrow will and can win a Super Bowl if he leaves Cincinnati. Actually, just leave Ohio, period. No Cleveland, no Cincinnati. But let me ask you this question, John. Joe Burrow's contract's up in 2029, I do believe. He has 4 or 5 years left on his contract still. Maybe 2028. Either way. He was the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. There is going to take a team that is going to take a flyer on Joe Burrow to get him out of Cincinnati. There's going to be a team, let's say the LA Rams. We're tired of Jared Goff. Just get him out of here. It is going to take a move like that from the Cincinnati Bengals to really get Joe Burrow out of town. Because I don't think teams are going to be actively pursuing Joe Burrow. Are the Miami Dolphins going to be actively pursuing Joe Burrow in 2029? Are the New York Giants going to be actively pursuing Joe Burrow in 2029? Obviously, that's 5 years away. Long ways away. But things could happen. But I don't think Joe Burrow ever leaves Cincinnati, barring another big injury. When I say barring a big injury, I'm talking like, a Peyton Manning neck issue, another ACL, a shoulder issue. If he gets another major injury that takes him out 9-10 weeks, right? Then I could possibly see the Cincinnati Bengals moving on from Joe Burrow, saying, just get him out of town. We'll give you a first-round pick plus Joe Burrow. You give us a third-round pick. Just get him out of here, right? A Lions and Jared Goff trade. But other than that, I don't ever see him leaving. Don't ever see him leaving. Next, where no way, guys. Do we have any more where no ways? Where is my stuff? Can you guys tell this first show back? I guess I only have 3 where no ways. What? John says the answer is Pittsburgh Steelers scoop Burrow up on a one-sided trade in 2028. Burrow wins a Lombardi immediately. Never going to happen. There will never be an interdivision trade for Joe Burrow and period. Now, Joe Burrow could go to the Jets for a year and then come back to the Pittsburgh Steelers, maybe, sure. But if I were the Cincinnati Bengals and I was Joe Burrow, I would play that card like the Green Bay Packers did with Brad Favre. Oh, you want to go to the Vikings? I don't think so. You can go anywhere but the Vikings. Anywhere but the Vikings, he says. But with that being said, guys, we're knocking off some rust. We're getting back in the groove. We'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. East Coast time for a members-only stream for a half hour, 20 minutes, and then 2:30 East Coast time right here at manhourradio.com, facebook.com/manhour, of course, youtube.com